Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you sent us Lainey Spizer's The Little Bit Naughty Book of Blowjobs, and it seems like you're curious about, enhancing intimacy and really getting into the details of oral sex.
Exactly. And our mission today is to pull out the most helpful, the most intriguing insights from this book specifically for you, moving beyond maybe what people already think they know.
Right, because we often approach these things with certain assumptions. So this is about unpacking those and giving you some real practical stuff from the source you sent.
Let's dive in then.
Okay, so first off, the author starts with something I think will make you feel, well, pretty relaxed. No such thing as a bad blowjob. It's right there.
Yeah, she really emphasizes that, the passion, the intent behind it, that's what really counts for most guys. They just appreciate the act
Yeah,
itself.
it sets a positive tone right away. Takes the pressure off, doesn't it?
It really does. That initial thought is so important. It's not about hitting some kind of clinical perfection. It's about connection, enthusiasm.
So for you listening, it's maybe a reminder that just being willing and engaged, that's already huge.
But then, and this is where it gets interesting, she kind of pivots.
Yeah, she does. While saying, okay, all attempts are appreciated, she then suggests that learning techniques can really elevate the whole thing.
Elevate it significantly. She uses phrases like turning it into a work of art.
Even potentially bringing your lover to tears of joy. I mean, that definitely makes you stop and think, okay, what else is possible here?
Right. It's that contrast. It values the basic act, but then opens the door to serious enhancement. So the question becomes, how can building skills actually amplify the pleasure for both people?
Absolutely. And speaking of skills, she gets practical pretty quickly. Stresses practice.
Oh, yeah. And she has some, shall we say, creative suggestions for practicing solo if you need to.
Yeah. Bananas, carrots, cucumbers. Though she throws in a pretty funny warning about the choking risks of deep-throating a banana.
Which, makes the whole idea of practice feel less clinical, more approachable. The humor helps.
Totally. But the underlying point is serious. Like any skill, getting better takes some focused effort.
And then she strongly recommends dildos, specifically realistic ones, the jelly or fleshy kind.
And I go to make sure how easy they are to get online now, discreet shipping and all.
Yeah.
Compares it to ordering sexy shoes, which kind of normalizes it.
Exactly. It suggests it's a private, comfortable way for you to experiment and build confidence without any pressure.
And one more thing from this early part, she really hammers home that your comfort is crucial, like absolutely essential.
Yes. Even if he has some wild fantasy like the kitchen blowjob on cold, hard linoleum she mentions.
Right, your comfort comes first. She advises changing positions often so you don't get tired or sore.
And encourages you to take control of his movements, guide him, even if you're in a position that might seem, submissive.
It reframes it as mutual, doesn't it? Your well-being actually helps make it better for him too.
Precisely. Prioritizing your comfort isn't selfish. It's fundamental to making it a great experience for everyone involved.
Okay, so let's get into the real meat of it. Starting with desire.
Mm-hmm.
The book talks about just the act of unzipping his pants, how empowering that can be.
It's a direct signal, right? Nonverbal. It puts him sort of at your mercy and apparently often leads to a really quick erection.
It's that psychological kickstart, a clear sign of your intent, which can be a huge turn-on for him.
So for you, initiating like that could be, well, surprisingly effective.
And then she makes this really sharp point about focusing on your desire.
Ah, yes. That performing oral sex only when he asks for it. It can actually lessen his enjoyment.
Because he might sense you're not really into it, like it's an obligation.
Exactly. It lacks that spark of genuine passion. When it comes from your own initiative, it just hits different, feels more validating, more exciting for him. Reciprocal desire is key.
The book says to treat his penis like a favorite sex toy.
Which is a fun way to put it.
Yeah. Use everything, face, tongue, lips, eyes, even your breasts and voice to show you're enthusiastic right from the get-go.
That multi-sensory approach. It's about showing your desire through lots of different cues, not just, going through the motions. Makes it a full expression of intimacy, not just mechanical.
So maybe think about how you can bring more of your senses into play to show you're enjoying it.
And surprises. Who doesn't love a surprise?
Right. She has a whole section on the power of unexpected oral sex.
Mm.
It says it positions you as this wonderful, sexual, generous woman.
And she gives specific scenarios, which are quite clever.
Yeah, like alarm clock
Great.
kid. Waking him up with it. She cheekily calls it better than a double espresso.
These scenarios are playful, imaginative ways to inject spontaneity. The key insight is just how powerful novelty can be for arousal. Which one jumps out at you?
Well, there's also coffee break head for work frustration, road trip head for long drives,
Finds those opportunities, yeah.
primetime head to shake up TV night, and I kind of like happy hour head,
Oh, what's that one?
pamper him after a rough day, cocktail, music, maybe a quick massage, and then
Yeah. Nice. These examples make the idea of surprise less abstract, more doable. They're starting points for maybe weaving unexpected intimacy into your life.
okay, fundamentals, the all-day sucker analogy.
Right. The basic skills licking, sliding, twirling the tongue, warm, wet pressure, avoid the teeth are kind of like enjoying a lollipop.
It makes it sound simple, accessible, breaks it down into something familiar.
The core idea is consistent, gentle manipulation, but
But yeah, she quickly adds that just treating him like a lollipop isn't going to be mind-blowing.
no. You've got to maximize each element, pace yourself. It's like mastering musical scales before you write a symphony. Go beyond the basics.
Makes sense. And she throws in a tip for 69 if the usual way is awkward or tiring.
The side-to-side position. Much more comfortable for sustained pleasure, apparently, without one person doing all the work or getting a crick in their neck.
Good practical advice. Adapting positions for mutual comfort.
Okay, next big topic. The importance of wetness.
Ah, yes. Saliva, the ultimate lubricant, she calls it.
Essential for that smooth, rhythmic friction. And she's pretty clear. For most men, wetter is better.
It underlines a basic principle of pleasure, right? Good lubrication just makes things feel better, reduces uncomfortable friction.
So maintaining moisture is, well, pretty important throughout.
But interestingly, she does acknowledge some guys prefer it non-lubricated. Dry jerks, she calls it.
And she gives tips on how to manage that discreetly, like wiping away saliva, drying your hands gently.
Shows an understanding of different preferences. It's about paying attention, maybe communicating.
Catering to specific desires definitely boosts intimacy.
Now, saliva tricks. She mentions some guys might like spitting or drooling, maybe from porn influences.
But she stresses the main thing is having plenty of hot saliva inside your mouth. That's the priority.
Yeah, and she even suggests practicing saliva pooling, like consciously turning off the swallow reflex to let it build up.
It's a tangible technique to work on if needed. Aggresses potential external ideas, but brings it back to what generally works best.
And if you do get dry, keep water handy. Quick sip while you keep going with your hands so you don't lose the connection.
Smart. A practical fix that keeps the flow going, no loss of intensity.
Okay, here's a slightly weird one. The gag reflex secret.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, triggering a slight gag actually stimulates more saliva.
Mm-hmm.
She suggests you could even, intentionally incorporate a tiny gag into your technique.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That's interesting. Using a natural response to enhance things. Bit more advanced, maybe.
And she says don't stress about the sound. Apparently, most guys take a little gagging sound positively.
Really? How so?
They associate it with how deep you're going, how enthusiastic you are. You could even use it as a chance to compliment his size.
Huh. Reframing something potentially awkward into a positive signal for him. That's clever. Highlights how interpretation matters in sex.
All right, let's talk about adding hands. Adding hot friction with hands.
First thing, she totally debunks the myth that using hands is cheating.
Thank goodness. Because it's not, right? She says it helps with pacing and can really increase his pleasure.
Absolutely. It frees you up to use everything you've got. Mixing hand stimulation with oral stuff gives different sensations more control.
She has positioning tips too, like maybe avoid him sitting down because legs get in the way.
Right. Suggests you sit while he stands with one leg up, gives good access, comfort for you.
Practical stuff. Ergonomics for better sex.
And then coordinating hand and mouth, wrap your hand around the base like holding a beer bottle, she says.
Yeah, and move them perfectly in sync. Even suggest getting your whole body into it, make it look sexier.
That synchronized movement creates a more intense, unified feeling for him, and the full body thing adds that visual, sensual layer. Amplifies it.
She also talks about alternating.
Yeah.
Sucking, then stroking with your hand.
That contrast, right? Wetter, softer sucking versus firmer, maybe cooler stroking. Heighten the sensation. Finding the right balance for your partner is the goal.
Keeps it dynamic, stops it getting predictable. You got to watch his reactions, see what works.
And let's be honest, using hands gives your jaw a break.
Totally, without losing the erotic intensity. Just transition smoothly, keep the passion up by talking dirty, or using your other hand, maybe on yourself, or touching him elsewhere.
It addresses endurance, keeps arousal high for both of you. A holistic approach, Engaging multiple pleasure points.
Okay, moving further beyond the penis, paying attention to the balls.
Yes. Big potential for pleasure there, but also pain, so caution is key.
Gentle fondling is usually good, but absolutely no squeezing, yanking, grabbing unless he specifically asks for it and guides you.
Super sensitive area, consent and gentle touch are crucial. Communication first.
Then, rimming, licking or gently fingering the anus.
Okay, so the book tackles this directly, stresses it's not about sexual orientation, says the rectum and prostate can be highly sensitive for some men.
But only initiate if he asks, and there's real trust. Start super gently, maybe just licking. If you go further, like with a finger, it needs to be very slow, very careful.
Can apparently be intense combined with oral on the penis, but again, consent, trust, slow approach are paramount. Respecting boundaries.
And don't forget the perineum, the taint.
Right, that area between the balls and anus. Licking the groin crease can be a tease. And massaging the perineum itself with fingertips can extend the pleasure. Points to often overlooked spots that can add a lot. It's all connected down there.
Okay, ready for some tricks to spice things up?
Lay 'em on me.
Minty mouth. Pop a strong mint beforehand. Creates a unique tingle for him.
Ooh, interesting. Though she warns it might be too intense for some, right?
Yeah, gotta gauge his reaction. Then break out the ice.
An ice cube in your mouth.
Exactly. Cool. Refreshing sensation. Not too overwhelming, apparently. It's different.
Temperature play. Simple way to add a new dimension.
Gummy lips. Curling your lips in over your teeth slightly.
Allows for more vigorous sucking without scraping.
Yeah, non-abrasive. But she notes it's not really sustainable for ages. It's a variation.
Changes the texture and pressure. Exploring different mouth techniques.
And then, the titty suck.
Okay, now you have my attention.
Huh. This one involves incorporating larger breasts while he's seated. Start normal, then bring your breasts together, hold them up, maybe bounce them a bit.
And then?
Insert his erect penis between them, like a hot dog in a big fluffy bun, is her exact phrase, while you keep sucking the tip and moving your breasts.
Wow, that's quite visual. An elaborate technique using multiple body parts. The analogy makes it memorable, less intimidating maybe.
And interestingly, she says it can work even if you're less endowed. Just focus on the shape and manipulation.
Good to know. And she also reminds us that just changing positions can make familiar techniques feel totally new.
True. Plus, she mentions some really adventurous ones with big caveats, like the handstand blowjob.
Whoa, okay, playful, but needs strength, stability, maybe against a wall.
Definitely. And midair 69 for very strong partners.
Yeah.
Weightless oral sex.
These extreme ones highlight playfulness, but safety and communication are obviously critical before attempting anything like that.
For sure. Okay, next up. Sexy ways to show him you love it.
How do you convey that enthusiasm?
Eye contact. Super important. Whether he's lying down, sitting, standing, connects with his eyes.
And she even suggests making sexy eye contact with his penis.
Yeah, like you're admiring a new toy or something delicious you're about to eat.
That non-verbal power again, conveying desire with your bays, intensifies things.
And don't just focus on the shaft. Lick him everywhere, balls included. Tease by alternating between penis and balls. Creates anticipation.
Sensory overload makes him want more, exploring the whole zone.
Use your last two. Tap, rub, kiss the head, the shaft. Open mouth kisses with tongue twirling. Very arousing, she says.
Using different parts of your mouth for varied sensations, showing appreciation through touch.
And if you're a B cup or larger, she suggests again incorporating breasts. Gently places penis between your nipples while doing oral.
Another way to bring more of your body into it, make it more encompassing.
And talk. Talk to him, talk to his penis, apparently.
Okay. Verbalize enjoyment. Ask what feels good.
Exactly. Describe what you're doing, what you'll do next. Tease him about coming.
Adds another layer. Keeps him engaged, turns it into a shared narrative.
Which brings us nicely to dual pleasure. Your enjoyment matters.
Yes. Crucial point. The book is firm. No reason you should miss out on pleasure while giving.
Absolutely vital message. Intimacy should be fulfilling for both. Your pleasure is just as important.
So how do you manage that?
Well, use his longer arms. Position yourself sideways or on top so he can easily reach your clit or breasts.
Makes sense. Practical positioning.
And keep a hand free for direct clitoral massage or, hey, grab a vibrator. Highly recommended.
Take an active role in your own pleasure. Communicate what you need.
And, of course, 69 variations. Simultaneous oral. Easiest way, she says, is him on his back, you on top.
And don't worry about suffocating him, apparently.
Haha, no. Being on top gives you more control, Better hand access, too.
Emphasizes reciprocal pleasure, finding positions that work for both.
The key is synchronized pleasure. Match his licks, his touches. Make it a fun game. Aim for mutual orgasm.
That collaborative aspect, a shared journey, deeper connection.
Okay, brace yourself. Going deeper, exploring deep throat.
Ah, the big one. A common male fantasy, she acknowledges. Often fueled by porn, the visual thrill of seeing his penis just disappear.
Right. It's important to get that psychological, visual element for him, but approach it with your comfort and safety first.
And she clarifies the physical sensation isn't necessarily better, just different. Another thing to add to the mix.
And the gag reflex. It's going to happen initially. It's natural.
Yeah.
But she assures you, you shouldn't actually throw up if you go slow and back off when you feel it start.
Plus, remember what we said earlier, a little gagging helps with saliva production.
Exactly. So going deeper is mostly about learning to manage that reflex, not necessarily about his size.
Practice is key then.
Totally. Open wide, lower slowly onto him, or a dildo, till you feel the gag. Hold there or back off a tiny bit, relax your throat, repeat. Go a little deeper over time.
No jerky movements, no forcing it, gradual progress.
And certain positions can help by straightening your throat, making it easier. Even an inch or two deeper can apparently make a big difference to his enjoyment.
Okay, detailed practical steps. Patience, control, listening to your body. It's a skill.
And there's a breathing technique for full deep throat, because your airway gets blocked.
Right. What's the trick?
Hold your breath going in. Exhale as he starts pulling out. Big inhale through a wide open mouth before the next insertion.
Crucial for safety and success, breath control, coordination.
But right, even when you're deep, don't stop using your tongue and suction.
Keep adding other techniques.
Yeah. Flick or roll your tongue on the underside of the shaft, an often neglected area. And you control the pace. Don't let him thrust too fast. Increases gag risk.
Good point.
Yeah.
Maintain control for your comfort and safety while still adding sensation.
Okay, finally. Hot finishing techniques.
The grand finale.
The big question, she says, isn't spit or swallow. It's, are you giving him a thrilling finish? Enthusiasm is everything.
So choose what you're comfortable with and do it with passion.
Exactly. If swallowing is okay for you, she calls it the ultimate fantasy finish for many guys. Fast, clean option.
Any tips for that?
Swallow quickly, don't let it linger. Maybe dip deeper right as he comes.
Okay. And if not swallowing?
Spitting. Perfectly acceptable, just messier. She suggests maybe aiming for your cheek to avoid gagging. Keep him in your mouth till he's totally done for maximum sensation.
And interestingly, don't rush off to clean up immediately.
Right. Some guys, maybe thanks to porn's money shot, find it thrilling to watch you spit it out, maybe onto your chest or something.
Acknowledges that visual element again.
And if you'd rather he doesn't finish in your mouth at all.
Communication beforehand is key, right?
Definitely. Most guys can warn you. If there's an accident, just a polite reminder later. To transition smoothly, keep the rhythm going from mouth to hand.
Ah.
Hand wraps around the base and your mouth moves up. Then lift your head, keep the hand going, maybe speed up. Guide him where the finish would be, exciting chest, breasts. Encourage him to come all over you there.
Some guys like to watch it happen with your participation, your admiration. Urge him to come for you.
Maintains the intensity, right to the end. Respects preferences.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive. Wow, we covered a lot from the Little Bit Naughty Book of Blowjobs.
We really did. Techniques for enhancing things, the huge importance of passion, practice, your comfort.
Delving into different sensations, deep throat, finishing methods, and always circling back to the fact that your pleasure matters just as much.
Exactly. The book is full of ideas, but maybe the biggest takeaway is just talking to your partner, communicating openly to find out what you both enjoy most.
That's the core of it, isn't it? Experimentation based on communication.
So, our final thought for you to consider. Think about everything we've just discussed. How could incorporating maybe just one or two of these ideas change things for you? What new aspect of pleasure are you most curious to explore now?
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.